The ocean is largely unexplored, which makes for some exciting possibilities if you're an underwater explorer. You never know what you might find, and there is some exciting possibilities to leave your mark on the scientific community if you discover something truly unique. For example, a gigantic prehistoric shark that is believed to have been non-existent for well over a century. So, does the Meg deliver all of the over-the-top, tongue-in-cheek shark fest goodness promised in the trailers? Or should we throw this film into the deep blue sea with the chum for Jaws to consume? Let's talk about it in this review. I was honestly surprised by how serious this film took itself. I assumed that based on the trailers, this film was just going to revel in all the nonsensical B-movie glory that we wanted to give it. And it definitely has those B-movie moments in there like that for like half the film. But then the other half is trying to give us real emotional moments that are dramatic, filled with loss and romance. So it's unbalanced tone, made for a curious movie-going experience overall, but when I left the theater, I was still happy with the time I spent watching the movie. I appreciated the Jaws reference late in the film with the boy at the beach, and I even appreciated how Jason Statham uses his underwater cruiser as a sword to slice the giant shark wide open, and then gets out of the underwater cruiser and goes hand-to-hand combat with the shark underneath the water. The reason for how the Meg gets to the surface level was actually told pretty creatively. Plus, there's helicopters, underwater explosions, and sharks of all shapes and sizes making cameo appearances throughout the film. So if you're like me and you look forward to Shark Week and you enjoy sharks in general, this film will not disappoint. The characters in this movie also all serve a purpose. As one would expect, they all have a specific and unique skill set that would be useful and appropriate in an underwater research facility. And we even have one little girl who provides some charm and humor to a story about a shark who is basically just eating anything and everything it can in its path. So thankfully, all of the characters and their personalities add something fun and entertaining to the story. However, on the flip side of that, some of the characters have such little screen time that when they do die, the impact of their death isn't as great as I think they wanted it to feel, because we don't really have a lot of time to get to know these characters or kind of understand why they're important or what the dynamic is that they share with everybody else in the research facility. The Meg is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am going to recommend that all shark lovers enjoy a big screen viewing of this film. If you're the type of person who thinks Shark Week is dumb and you don't understand why some guys get excited when Shark Week arrives, I am definitely not going to recommend that you spend your hard-earned dollars or your time in the theater on this film. But for all the shark lovers out there looking forward to their viewing, this film I personally feel like did deliver on the story it wanted to tell, with some issues in tone that we did discuss. Plus, there's more than one giant shark in this movie. So the first half of the movie feels like The Meg, and then the second half of the movie feels like its own sequel, Mama Meg. The story kept me entertained from beginning to end, and I actually laughed more than I thought I would when I walked into the theater. So for these reasons and the others that we discussed in this review, The Meg is getting at least one high five from this guy. The Meg is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out, fellow shark lovers.